Hello, everyone. My name is Ron Booth, and I'd like to welcome you to the South Fulton Coalition Town Hall. Tonight's town hall is for a candidate for the mayor of the City of South Fulton. His name is Mr. Joseph Adeyemi. Our moderator for tonight is Mr. Quasar Alexander. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Quasar. You got it from here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Quasar Alexander, just as Ron said, and welcome to the South Fulton Coalition forums. And thank you guys for spending your time here with us tonight. Tonight we have our South Fulton mayoral candidate, Mr. Joseph Adeyemi. Did I pronounce that right, Mr. Adeyemi?
Correct.
All right. So I what I want to start out saying here is give a couple of rules. I think you guys might have heard this already before. No badgering, and try your best not to mention your competitor's name. And the audience, please be respectful with your questions. And if you do have questions, you can put those questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand by pressing the reactions button at the bottom and raising your hand like that. So, without further ado, Mr. Adeyemi, first of all, I'd like to thank you for your service.
Thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So what I want to do, I know we've asked quite a lot of the same questions. And as you know, I was a part of the mayoral campaign in the city council campaign for many reasons. But tonight is about you. But I do bring a little bit of experience from being in this particular season along with you guys. And I'm going to ask a few questions that maybe you guys haven't heard before, but I think it's pretty important that your constituents and my neighbors know, or at least can hear from you guys on tonight. So first, I'll let you start by just talking about yourself for about a good 2 minutes and letting us know whatever you like us to know. So you can go ahead with that, sir.
Thank you so much, President. And thank you to South Fulton Coalition for putting this together. It's a more relaxed settings, right? Different from what we've been doing since we started this journey. And to you, Koiza, for finding time to host this. I know I was told that the original host will not be able to join tonight, and then you will be taking over. So thank you for taking over in such a short notice. Really appreciate you. And to people who have joined, those who are still going to join later, those who are going to watch this link online later, thank you all so much for taking interest in this process, for being an active citizen. Really want to appreciate you. Like many of you, I chose South Fulton as my home, not just for its beauty, but for its people. I got married in this city. Uh, my kids attend Renaissance Elementary School and Global Impact Academy. I'm raising them here right now. We worship at Zion Hill Baptist Church. As a U.S. Navy sailor, I took an oath to defend this country. And as a project manager and father, so service and responsibility they are more than words to me. They're a way of life. I live that every day. So I've been entrusted with the most delicate duty in the world, which is raising three daughters, right? So meanwhile, I've led operations on the deck of U.S. Navy ships. I've led presidential convoy as a military assistant, driving the number one car in the convoy on Inauguration Day. I've received Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award by President Joe Biden, amongst others. But accolades aside, the virtue of discipline, integrity, and ethics that the military taught me, they're exactly what we lack in City Hall today. So I'm running because South Fulton deserves that leader that will listen, that leader that will take action, the leader that will deliver results and not excuses, because we've heard a lot of that from our elected officials. So this election is about a choice, really. Do we continue down the same path of broken trust, or do we take a bold step toward accountability, growth, and real change? So it's time for people to decide. Thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you for that. I'm going to ask a few questions, and then we'll go to the chat if we have any other questions pop up. I guess you'll let me know. They'll run. As of right now, I want to start here. I noticed that you're pretty good and big in business and technology. And notice on your website, and when you talk about certain things, one of the first things you do say You like to attract new business, to the city. So I want to kind of come at this in a way as like a SWOT analysis. And for you guys who don't know what that is, it's kind of like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's kind of what you use to measure a business. But in this particular case, I want to understand what you think our city's strengths are first off, and then we'll go into some questions about the weaknesses. Of course, we've put that on display lately, and then there's some opportunities, right? So I just kind of want you to kind of start. What do you think that our city's biggest strength is right now?
Thank you very much. I've been in consulting for decades now, and you're right about the SWOT analysis. It was the first thing I did myself with the city to kind of see what are the opportunities, how can we bring businesses, right? But talking about strength, no, this is, I guess, the most obvious is our position, our location. We are this close to the airport, right? So, and that's the busiest airport in the world. More than that, we do have land that we own as a city. I've talked to other mayors around us. For example, East Point, they don't have land. So if we want to do something, we do have that opportunity to say, okay, this is our land. That saves cost, right? Instead of thinking, oh, we still have to go make a purchase to buy land to build. We do have that going on for us. And also, our population supports growth. We have 111,000 residents here. So those are the key things that I know that they are definitely things that investors who would like to see and will interest them to bring their business here.
Nice, nice. Thank you for that. Next, I'd like to ask you, staying kind of on that topic there. I've mentioned this before, and I think I've heard you talk about this, but I think it's really important to understand where we're going in the new economy. It's kind of changing right here in front of our face, right? So nationally, the Economic Policy Institute reported that Black unemployment ratio was double that of white in Q2 of 2025. In South Fulton, where 91.4% of residents are Black and 3.5% are white. We love them all, don't we? Everybody, right? But we're talking about statistics here. Do you believe parts of our community are already in a recession? And also, how would you track and report these local unemployment rates? Would you have some kind of way of bringing in this data? And specifically, what actions you would take because of those disparities?
For local economy, thank you for that question. Yes, we've seen what's been coming down all the way from Washington to right here. I can even speak personally that I know at least 5 people who have lost their jobs between January and today. These are colleagues that we both used to work together that have now lost their jobs. And now that you mentioned, it just occurred to me that we're all Black. So it's serious, right? So we need to take a stand. It's something that we need to call our attention to, that what's causing this. We know, of course, the macroeconomics of it, things could be beyond our control as a city, right? However, what are the things that we can do to better position our people? And that's why I'm bringing in those job trainings here. We have to have workforce development programs that we have to do to kind of find, okay, now that people, we're getting these cuts, people are losing jobs, what are the areas of opportunities that we currently have that we can develop our people to be able to attract those opportunities, or to be able to seek those opportunities and become employed again. So it's a key program for me that I'm planning on bringing to the city to make sure that we assess our current situation. For example, somebody that was laid off as a sales manager, for example, we can say, oh, if you're in sales, how can we change that to maybe business analysis, or for example, is it marketing? What opportunities do we have that we can now change and retrain, and we can now go out for them? There's an AI boom, for example, right now. I'll give you an example of some of the trainings that I've facilitated as a project manager, where we can train people now to become prompt specialists or prompt engineer, where you can learn how to prompt AI for results. Those are little bootcamp trainings that we can do to change the course of someone's life. Another good example is you can now buy white label AI software that you can now resell. You call a dealership to schedule an appointment, and it's AI you're talking to. They will schedule your appointment and all of that. Those are the kind of opportunities that I want to bring, whereby we can train our people. Without training, without preparing our workforce, even if we bring 1,000 companies here, they're going to go outside of the city to hire people. But before we can even get to that, we have to get ourselves trained first. And that's why I'm prioritizing workforce development program.
Thank you for that. We have a question from the chat from Mrs. Pam Harvey. She asks, what made you want to run for mayor? What makes you want to be the mayor of South Fulton?
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Pam. I am raising 3 girls in this city, and I know that in America, your zip code is very important, because that follows that kid's foundation, and it can actually follow the course of their life. So it's important. When I started evaluating things, I say, where can I start to make a difference? It's in the local government area, whereby even though the same governor that is over the schools in City of South Fulton or West End Atlanta is the same governor that is over the schools in Buckhead or in Alpharetta, right? The same Department of Education. So what's the difference, right? Why are they putting more attention to some schools than others? It's us. If we improve ourselves locally, they will put more attention to our schools too. That way, our education system go up. They go up, we attract more quality people into the city. So it was a simple mathematics for me. I figured out I have to start from the municipal level in order to make meaningful change across board. We start from here and we take it forward from here. And like I mentioned, this is where I chose to raise my kids. So it's important to me that things work smoothly. So seeing that we have that urgent need for visionary leadership, and urgent need for leadership that listens, that takes action, is exactly why I said, you know what? Of what use is my skills if I can put it to use for my own people? Thank you.
And thank you for that. And speaking of education, there's a saying that, whoever controls education controls continuity, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And those power, we make the narrative. So the education is really important. And I always hear a lot. I see you there, Mr. Lockhart. I got you there now.
I'm hearing echo.
Are you there? We'll go ahead and take your question, Mr. Lockhart, since you're here right now. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Just unmuted right now. First of all, good evening to everyone, and good evening to you, Mr. Adeyemi. I have a question for you. I know that I mentioned in other sessions that a tree is known by the fruit that it bears, and I've had an opportunity to observe the fruit from the previous sessions during their terms and so forth. But my question to you is, what is your view of Jesus Christ and the gospel?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm still hearing myself. There's an echo.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute Rev. Okay, it should be good now.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Kwesi. Yes, your question, what's my view of Jesus Christ? I don't know, but from my name, Joseph, we all know the Joseph story in the Bible. But to answer your question, Jesus is my personal savior. I was born and raised in a Christian family. I sang in the choir. My mom would take us to church on Saturdays to clean the church. Growing up, we didn't have people hired to clean the church. It was the members. So we will go in groups. One group will do this Saturday, and then the group takes over the following Saturday. So that relationship been with me since my foundation, and even now my kids are doing the same thing. My kids are in the choir. We go to midweek services and all that. Make sure that they are participating. My wife is doing something in church. I'm doing things. So I'm a full-blooded Christian. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Lockhart, and thank you, Joseph. It's kind of, I know you've heard this question a lot. We've talked, because it's really big. This is something that's transformative for the world right now. It's data centers, both physically and virtually. Data centers are controlling everything that we do. Physically, it's taking land, acres and acres out of our backyards and out of our cities. It's raising our power, electric power. It's using a lot of our water. Virtually, it's taking over our jobs, like we were just talking about a minute ago. And just kind of going back to, we're going to talk about some threats, right? Our city, our revenue in our city, and Miss Pam and I got you next to as well. The revenue in our city, we always talk about we're doing good as far as revenue. I kind of hear the mayor and our city council promoting that a lot, which is a good thing. My question is about our citizens, right? Having a city that's wealthy or well off when it comes to our finances is good, but having a population that's check to check is an issue. So, what ideas do you have in particular? Considering the economy pretty well, what ideas do you have? We've lost a lot of different DEI programs from the government. A lot of our people are not necessarily receiving those anymore. What kind of ideas do you have that kind of plug that gap?
All right. So in your question is as opposed to bringing data centers, what can we do instead, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trying to summarize your question.
So the data center problem is kind of that's the threat, right? The threat is the data centers and kind of what they're bringing as far as taking jobs virtually and physically, right? Having a lot of land. So my question is, if that continues to happen, there's an issue coming. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. What particular ideas do you have to kind of, as a city, locally, to make sure that our people kind of, thrives through this upcoming economy? I know you mentioned a few minutes ago about, the training and stuff, but yeah, in particular.
Yes. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to make it clear that I oppose data center in our community because they mask themselves as an area of opportunity or economic development, but they're really not. They consume massive amounts of electricity and water. And that's strained local resources too. It continues to drive up utility costs for residents. So they don't generate long-term employment like you're very much aware. I just wanted to make that clear. However, sorry, somebody said something. All right. However, Georgia continues to welcome them to the states. So we now have to come up with meaningful alternatives if we are saying no. I am saying no with the people that we don't want this. But then what do we want in the absence of data center? We have to be able to attract organizations that will come in here and then develop our local economy, our local base. My goal is to make City of South Fulton a hub in this state that when these Fortune 500 companies are coming to Georgia, they're looking at coming here because we have grown our people. They now have the skills. And anything I say here or anything I've said during my campaign, I always back them up with examples. So it's not like a politician talking. I'm not a politician at all. I can take you right now to Alpharetta, and they already have at least 3 unicorns. Unicorns are companies that have surpassed $1 billion mark. This is possible. We can do it. We're top 6 in Georgia with Alpharetta and Johns Creek and the rest. So we can actually attract it. But we have to be competitive. Is what we have to do.
Who's mayoral candidate?
Drew, I'm going to mute you.
Who?
All right, continue.
Sorry about that, Joseph.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. So we have to be competitive is to attract these companies to come to City of South Fulton. We have to show them what we are doing to develop the skills. So it ties back to that workforce development program that I talked about earlier that I'm bringing in, whereby they now know that, hey, if you need resources, go to City of South Fulton. They have a vibrant program where they are training people and attaching them to jobs. So we are not only going to train, we'll make sure that we are matching our graduates with employment opportunities. Thank you.
And thank you. Mrs. Pam, I am going to unmute.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, Mr. Adeyemi,
Yes, ma'am.
isn't your residential address in Cobb County?
No, ma'am. I live in City of South Fulton. Even all the candidates came to my subdivision for candidate forum 2 weekends ago. I live in the Lakes on Cedar Grove. I
Okay,
have
and
neighbors on this call right now.
all right, and one other statement. Now you mentioned that you were a Navy SEAL. Is that right?
No, ma'am. U.S.
You didn't
Navy
say that?
reservist.
Or
U.S. Navy
reservist?
reservist.
U.S.
Yes.
Navy, Naval reservist. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And also that you were in procurement. You were a procurement officer or something like that.
No, ma'am. I'm a project manager.
Project manager. That's right. And can you tell me where you were, what outfits you were the project manager?
Thank you very much. I currently work for Deloitte as a manager in Atlanta here. And my current project is providing air choice for postal workers in America. I'm working with Office of Personnel Management to currently provide that to all the postal workers in America.
Thank you for that. And I think we have a question in the chat from Mrs. Mapp. How will you encourage data center developers to plan their construction with plan to restore the land, with plan to restore the land and water tables back to its original reusable source?
How will you encourage data center developers to plan their construction with plan to restore the land and water tables back to its original reusable source? So this we will not be able to do because once you give approval for folks to develop, as long as it's up to code, we cannot really force them to build their outfit in a certain way. I would love for us to be able to do this, but once they run the cost analysis, they are going to say they're not going to do that. What we can do is to mandate it, maybe have an ordinance to mandate that every single warehouse or data center have to be a green space. In what are we trying to achieve here is we want to make sure that everything that they are doing, they're considering the environment in that. That way, from the beginning, before we give them approval, they can already know that, this is going to cost a lot. Maybe we shouldn't go to this city. We can make it difficult, is what I'm trying to say. Put stipulations down that. But the moment we give that approval, like the already existing ones, we cannot go in there now and tell them, hey, you guys have to, change your whole scope of operation or how you've built your things. You have to update it to suit us. They would not do it.
Thank you for that. I have one question for you, and then we'll go back to the chat. And I think I cut Mrs. Pam off on accident. But anyways, we'll get back around to you there, Mrs. Pam. My question for you is pretty much the P card question. So a lot of us are paying a lot of attention to the P card and forensic audits of the mayor that wasn't done with the rest of the city council. There was a few things at one of the last city council meetings that P cards came up, and we won't go there too much. But anyways, what I want to say about that is, how do you see spending, I would say, other people's money, which is the public's money, when it comes down to P cards? I know a lot of people want to do forensic investigations with the whole city council. What do you think about that, considering the cost of it? Also, do you think it's worth the cost? Should we be doing it to those people who are incumbents, or what?
So as it is now, there are no guardrails. Where there is no law, there is no crime. So it's currently a free for all. So it's not just the mayor. Everybody is doing it this way. If you doubt, go see how they even filed their disclosure. Those in office running for office, you can tell that accountability is not on the table. But now, to catch up on that, we need a forensic audit. I need to, for example, know what I'm walking into. number one, not to expose anybody, but just to know and also use it as an avenue to train. My goal is to train them. Like, this is how it's done. I currently have 2 cards myself. I have one for the Navy. I have one for my company that I work for, which I travel for, right? I was just in New Jersey for 4 days, right? Came back and immediately have to upload my vouchers, my hotel folio. The hotel sent me a receipt. I will upload that. My Uber receipt, my feeding and all that, because they already gave me a per diem. So I'm used to this life, right? But if you're not used to it, it seems like a witch hunt to you, like, oh, people are after me. But no, it's a process, it's a procedure. The problem is we have elected people who have not been professionals. So they see you as you're after them if you tell them to be accountable. Accountability is key. When I travel for the Navy, within 3 days, they don't care wherever you go in the world. Within 3 days of landing in the US, you have to reconcile your account. So I have a government card that I use for travel for the government that I use for book tickets, flights, hotels, same thing. You have to be accountability is part of the process. It's not a witch hunt. So I think people cancel from what I heard in that meeting, right? It seems like it was a witch hunt, and it's coming from that space of lack of professionalism. They are not used to this, being accountable. They're like, why would you ask me to bring receipt? Why would I travel and you're asking me this? But for people, you and I have worked in professional field. If somebody asks me now if I travel and they say, oh, Joseph, oh, we need to upload all your receipts. Before I get there, I'll start emailing it to them because I'm used to it, right? So that's what we need to bring back going forward after the forensic audit, where they need to be trained. This mindset shift needs to happen that this is how accountability works. When people see it, they can trust it, right? That's what I'm bringing to the table. Accountability, not a witch hunt. So I have to educate a lot of the people in the office right now that this is not a witch hunt at all. We just need to be able to see. We need to see it. That's all. That's my own stance on that.
I can definitely agree with that. Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. Mrs. Pam, or does anyone else have a question there, Ron, that you see? Miss Pam, did you have another question there before we continue? You can type it in the chat, or you could Ron, if you would let her on if she has.
Okay, and Ms. Naima has a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to know, what leadership skills are you going to bring to the table to prevent what we witness too frequently during meetings with council? Council has the votes. They have really control of the room. And the mayor, it's a weak mayor's model. So what leadership skills are you bringing to the table to make sure that that nonsense minimizes and hopefully goes away?
Thank you very much for that question. Very important question, actually, because like you said, we operate, I still said this yesterday during our candidate forum. It was actually part of my closing, which I might actually use again tonight. We have a strong council, weak mayor form of government, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My current project is about 202 to 205 of us on that project. Only 2 Black people, myself and one other guy that is an analyst, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to walking into a room and not see people who look like me. I see people way much older than me, not my color, and they feel like, well, why is this guy gonna come in and tell us what to do? I have mastered the way of bringing people together due to my jobs. I move from project to project, and I see this everywhere I go. I'm probably the youngest on most of my projects, right? I'm talking to federal government workers that have been in the same position for 25 years, and I'm telling them this process you're following, it does not work. I'm coming in to improve the process. I'm going to stay with you for 3 months or 4 months and improve your process. And in the beginning, they say like, nah, you can't tell me what to do. but I have the skills that I have, collaboration, inspiration, and results-driven leadership. I work with metrics. We have to have result-driven leadership. Those are the exact skills that I deliver every day as a project manager, and the exact skills that we currently lack in City Hall right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for that question. So I'm going to go back over to kind of mixing technology in a little bit, something that you know well about. How would you leverage technology to improve city services? For example, would you launch an app to streamline business permits, coordinate rides, share services? Just what would you do? Because if you've understood or if you've seen lately how hard it is to get a business permit in this city, and how long it takes for some people to get business permits in this city, how would you solve that problem using technology?
Thank you very much. The funny part is I've actually created a process to streamline it, not for City of South Fulton, as a project manager for another county to be able to streamline their process, right? So what I would do for City of South Fulton is to create like a concierge service, right? You know how when you go to a hotel, you pull up in front, somebody comes out, they grab your bags for you, they walk you to the reception, they get your room key for you, they take your bags to your room. It's the same process that I'm going to do for investors or businesses coming here, whereby they have someone who is going to expedite the process for them. They will be assigned. Once you come in, somebody will be assigned to you. You call them anytime to ask questions, number one, for resources. Number two is they will be the expediter. They will be the ones expediting all this process for you to make sure that no red tapes is delaying you, and they continue to communicate with you how the process is going. Right now, I've seen actually that we have an online process. The online process we currently have only tells you where you are in the process. Oh, it's still processing. It's still processing. People wants to know, like, what's going on? Where are we with the permit? When is it going to come out, right? It's more than in progress. You just see something that says in progress. That's not enough. I want a situation whereby we attach an individual to these businesses that they will be able to walk them through all the permitting process and onboard them at the final stop. That way, they tell others that, wow, when I wanted to do something in this city, the way they handle the process, I've never seen it before. That's the kind of news I want to be coming out of City of South Fulton, that when they come here, we have streamlined the processes. And the best way to do that is to make it transparent. I was talking to 3 different investors, like, hey, you have things around us. Why haven't you come here? I want you to come here. He said, when you're mayor, I will come because I know what you can do. Because right now, it's taking them forever to get what they want. And these are not people that want to be lining people's pocket before they get what they need. So they just back out and go to East Point, go to Fairburn. There are other cities that are close to the airport. We're not the only ones close to the airport. They can take their businesses everywhere. Anyway, it's their money. We have to be competitive. That's making it at least easy and also match what others are offering them in terms of incentive. We have to match it. If we don't match it, why should they come to us? Thank you.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Mr. Drew, the man. Here you go. You have the mic.
All righty. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Mr. Adeyemi, for answering our questions. I've got kind of a 2-part question. One is relating to, and I'm sure as you've participated and observed city council meetings and other public meetings, there is a high degree of attention from residents of the city to land use and development issues, projects of any kind, residential, commercial, industrial, can be very contentious. So what I'd like to know is your position on what the people of communities want and how they express their desires and wants and needs around development versus what developers choose to come and bring here, which in many cases has been unpopular things like warehouses. There's one in particular right now that's very controversial in District 7. And yeah, just seeing that there is a great amount of tension between what council members and developers and residents would like to see versus what they would like not to have come into their area. And I'll leave that as part one.
Thank you very much, sir. So it's simple. And I'm not saying this as a politician at all. As I've established, I'm not a politician, I'm a problem solver. We have a comprehensive plan in this city. Why do we argue back and forth about this development, right? I pull up a comp plan. It says this is a green space, green area. Why am I arguing back and forth about somebody that wants to put a gas station there? Our comp plan says it's a green space, or this is residential, it's this close. It's a no, outright no, that we're not doing it. Now, even for development that suits our comp plan, if the residents have you seen our city hierarchy? It puts citizens on top, council and mayor below them. I bet this is the easiest job ever, because all you have to do is follow the laid down rules. I don't know why people are making this so difficult. It is super easy. The citizens that elected us, that's my boss. My boss said no. I will tell any developer my boss said no. Now, the real question is, why aren't they able to tell those developers no? Are pockets being lined? Because if you're not getting any benefit from them, it should be fairly easy for you to say no. A good example would be, why are we approving a development that over 300 people signed against? If you line up 300 people in front of your house, do you know how many how many yards that will take? 300 people signed, said, no, we do not want this. Your employer, 300 of them, they said, no, we don't want this. But you passed it. What's driving that? Those are the questions community needs to start asking. And then not just approving it, I'm saying you can't even comment on that. It's crazy. Those are the kind of questions we need to start looking at. That. What could be driving that? Why, as your employer, I'm telling you I don't want something, but you're forcing it on me? It's like I'm hiring a contractor to paint my house red, but I come back from work and it's white. Won't I call the contractor immediately? Are you crazy? I told you I wanted my house red, right? Why would the contractor force the color of your house on you? I said, no, Mr. Ron, it needs to be white. When I'm the one paying? So you think about it. What could be driving that?
I like that answer. Oh, thank you. And just the second part is a little more general and abstract.
Yes.
If you would have anything to say about the concept of environmental justice as it pertains to our communities here in South Fulton, and the degree to which you value sustainability and environmental concerns. If you could just speak to those types of issues briefly. Thank you.
If we don't prioritize our environment, we're gonna lose it. And that is why I have to go back to what I said earlier about our comprehensive plan. That is why in the plan, actually this city has more green spaces more than any city that I've been to around it in this metropolitan area. I've not seen a city that has more green spaces than us. It's designed that way. So now we have inherited this, right? And we have it in our comprehensive plan. We need to be careful. We need to be able to preserve it for the next generation. So now the question comes down to, do we have the political will to do that? to prioritize that. We talk about data centers. They are not doing nothing positive for the environment. They're not doing nothing for us. Why should we prioritize money? Or it's like, I call it cheap economic growth, right? It's for people who can think outside the box. That's why we need a visionary leader. Visionary leadership would say, these are the things I will not do. Even as you are right now, Mr. Ron. There are things, not all good money, not all money is good money. There are things that they will bring to your door right now. They will tell you, I'll give you $5,000 right now if you can do this. And you will close your door and say, nope, I'm not doing it, right? So not everything that disguises itself as economic development or growth should we be saying yes to. We need to, first of all, define our character. That's what I'm coming in to bring it. What is our character? How we dress is how we're going to be addressed. If we position ourselves as a city or community that prioritizes its environment, we will not go against all our green spaces on our comprehensive plan, then they won't offer it to us. They won't start bringing it to us anymore because we need to show that first of all. And that's what we're currently lacking. The political will to be able to say, this is who we are here. We will not accept this. And that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Thank you for that answer. Did you have another question there before I leave?
No, sir.
Okay.
Just saying thank you.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to go to Mrs. Reed next, but first, I wanted to kind of bring a couple of more facts to this conversation about the data centers. I know we push a lot of that pressure on City Council. They do have a lot to do with that. Maybe it's the lack of knowledge of where this is really coming from. As you mentioned a little bit earlier, it is the state that's bringing these data centers here, and also the county. So we want to actually remember that too, because it's very important that we know exactly where this is coming from. It's really and nobody's blaming anybody. It's really easy we should be concerned, and the first people you're going to go to is the City Council. But I want you guys to know that the money is given from the state, and also the county has a development authority that actually saves money for these data centers. They actually go in and save them 50 to 90% on property taxes from our city. So there's a lot of things that we have to talk about as a city, and as some of the candidates here, to understand the knowledge behind of what's really going on, so that we can attack the right problem. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Mrs. Reed, and then next we're going to go to Guided. And I see you there, and I see you, Brandon and Sam. Here you go, Mrs. Reed. I'm sorry, I muted you. I wouldn't. If you'll put your hand back up, and I'll get you again.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, I have two questions. What are your thoughts on the city collecting impact fees from developers and builders?
Right. Regarding impact fees, it's something that we can review and see what are the pros, what are the cons. Right now, I have not seen a justification or what exactly are the pros other than we're getting money. Number one, I want to see, as it's called impact fees, it can be used in a way to kind of protect how we are developing in order to discourage some development from coming in. Could be a pro. I also want to see the other pros on the table and other cons. After reviewing is where I cannot take it. So I need to know how we are using it right now. Like, how is it impacting the amount of people trying to bring businesses in or trying to bring development in? So it is at that point that I'll be able to now take a stand and say, this is something we should reinforce and continue to do, or this is something that we should do without. Thank you.
Okay, so my next question is, what do you think should occur first, development or infrastructure, and why?
Infrastructure. Infrastructure. If I want you to build a grocery store right here where I'm seated, but you can't even find your way there, or there is no power there, you would think about the cost to, first of all, pave the road to that spot, and the cost it would take you to run electricity there. And then you just go to East Point or another city near us that already have those infrastructures. So we need to prioritize infrastructure. As a city, a lot of our infrastructures, we have to collaborate. We have to partner with county and state in order to get them done. That's why you need a leader. You need a leader that can cultivate relationship. I have existing relationships on state level, on federal level that I can leverage on, right? To make sure that we bring the adequate infrastructure that we need. Right now, East Point, for example, sell electricity, they sell water. So they are way ahead of us in all these things that we are still leveraging City of Atlanta for, right? So the first thing is to infrastructure first, then development after. That would be my answer to your question. Because definitely development will follow once we put the infrastructure in place.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Reed. I'm going to go over to Guided Insurance. You can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is Tanya Isles Anderson, and yes, I'm owner of Guided Insurance. I had the pleasure of being in your seat, Quasar, a couple weeks ago, leading one of these sessions with one of the District 2 candidates, since I live in District 2. So thank you for your work this evening. Great job. And Mr. help me with your last name.
Adeyemi.
Adeyemi?
Yes,
Adeyemi.
Adeyemi.
Okay, yes. Yes, I want to thank you for offering yourself up for public service. I know that it does take time, it takes money, it takes courage.
Yes.
I am very excited about this election, and I am so hopeful and optimistic that neighbors are going to take this opportunity to restore the reputation of this city. Personally, I find myself in various settings ashamed to say specifically where I live sometimes, depending on the setting and the type of people that I'm meeting with. And I'm sick of it, to be frank with you. So I think that I'm optimistic that we're going to take advantage of new candidates like yourself, who bring experience from the military, who bring experience from corporate America, to turn this city into something that we can all be proud of. Understanding that there are certain things that you can't control, okay, and we do understand that, but there are many things that you can control. So I think that after the election, and when we have new candidates and new elected officials, that one of the first things that needs to happen is the current incumbents need to offer a public apology for the behavior that we've had to endure for the last however long they've been in office. Okay, so I think that's a first step that needs to happen. Then what I'd like to see is a pledge from the new elected officials combined with the people who are going to stay in office, the odd districts, that they are going to behave better. So I would like to know if you agree with that, if you think that's a good starting point, with you potentially being the leader of the city. And then how would you execute that?
Thank you very much. I don't know if you joined when I was talking about collaboration, right? To be able to deliver in this position as mayor, we need the support of council, right? And collaboration starts with respect, even when we disagree, especially when we disagree, actually. So my approach as mayor would be to lead with transparency, open communication, a shared commitment to results over politics. So how do I do that? The same way I've done it over the years in my career as a project manager is the first thing I do on any project, even if it's 200 of us, if it's 50 of us, if it's 5 of us, the same principle applies, which is to have a working agreement. I have not thought about it as a pledge, but when you mentioned it now, it occurred to me that it's actually a pledge, right? So I make sure I bring out a blank piece of paper on my first day on any project, and we all sit down at the round table, and we begin to document how we are going to work together. Even minute things like meeting time, we're going to give 1 minute buffer for every project calls that we have. The same thing we translate to city. Every meeting we have, we only have 1 minute buffer. If you're not going to make this meeting, you send emails to everyone explaining why and what your contribution will be to that call. So something as simple as that is even documented in my working agreement, whereby we now document this is how we're going to treat each other. Of course, we will not always agree. These are the things we will not say in public. These are the things we will keep for private sessions that we're going to have, right? Executive session. These are the things that we're not going to say. This is how we're going to relate with people. That way, as we're coming out with that pledge saying that this is not Joseph saying this is how you should behave. This is you yourself documenting a way that you want to treat each other or relate or collaborate with one another. So it's very important for us to have that documents written by all of us on council and then pledge our allegiance to it that we will abide by these things that we all collectively wrote together. So I definitely agree with you, man.
Thank you for that. And I'm going to go to Brandon. I know, or do you still have a question there, Brandon? I'm going to unmute you.
Yes, thank you for that. And I'm not sure what happened. But Mr. Joseph, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce your last name?
Adeyemi, just as it's
I,
written, Adeyemi. Adeyemi.
Adeyemi.
Yes, sir.
First, I want to say thank you for taking your time to run for public office. I think, like many have mentioned, that it's not an easy feat to take the responsibility of running over 115,000 residents in the city of South Fulton. So I do want to say thank you for taking the time to campaign and run for this public office. You mentioned back in one of your comments about 300 petitions, and I wanted to know, just hypothetically, if you were in a position where you had 300 petitions expressing opposition, but you also had residents who have worked with development for over 3 years, and you worked with the stakeholders and you worked with community groups and organizations who also wanted this development. How would you balance the two? How would you balance 300 random petitions, maybe some being within the city of South Fulton, versus organizations and HOAs and communities and residents who've worked over 3 years to bring a development to the community? How would you balance that?
Thank you very much for that question, Brandon. It's simple, right? We have meetings and we have people who speak for, who speak against every time we have issues. What I wouldn't do is what I'll start from. I would not shut down public comment, right? I would not shut that down. I would not carry myself in a way that people would think I'm against them. I will carry myself in a way that people would know that I am for them and I will listen. Listening is key. You have to show it. Anybody can say whatever, but showing is very important. Your actions, right, says a lot. If I call the 300, just by the language, if I come out as mayor and say 300 random signatures, I'm already biased towards those signatures. So even the language that we use will show people if I'm for them or I'm against them, right? So one thing that I wouldn't do, though, is limit people's participation. I definitely agree with you on if people have worked tirelessly, they've gone to HOAs and all that, then let them come out and speak, right, in the front of everybody. Let those people who have done that work, let them step up and say, for example, if this is my subdivision now, and they want to put a gas station in front of my subdivision, and I see 300 signatures as mayor, right? It doesn't mean that we're shutting it down, right? We need to engage with people in the subdivision. The HOA meeting, I will attend. As mayor, I'll be a mobile mayor, attending all this town, attending all these HOA meetings. I have to see things for myself. So nobody's going to generate random 300 signatures and put in my face and think, oh, that's the end. No, I will be at those meetings, those town halls. I want to see things for myself. Who are those people attending saying that they want these things? That's when I can make a stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that question. Oh, sorry. Can I do a follow-up?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Sure, Brandon.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I do want to just acknowledge that I am one of the many people that worked for 3 years because I do live right next door to this development. And to find that, pe some people who were not at all involved in this development until the day of or the week of the vote, it's very offensive for it to become a cloud or a political mudslinging. It discounts the work that was taken
Exactly.
3 years. It's people on this
Right.
call right now that may not say anything, but they have been involved in this
Right.
development for over 3 years. And they worked with the developer, they worked with the community, they worked with the HOAs, they worked within their communities within the HOAs to bring that development forth in the way that it reflects the community. It reflects what we want. We've been asking for mixed use development for so long, and
Yeah.
yet when we get development, no one wants it. So like how does that translate into we're going to build a city versus we don't want anything in our city?
Exactly. So one of the things that we are not also acknowledging is the fact that there are 7 districts in this city. What District 4 wants may be different from what District 5 wants. District 4 may say we don't want density. District 1 may say we want all the density, give us all the density. So sometimes it takes careful planning, smart growth to be able to position things. But to your point, if the people living in that area have said that they are for this, it's the language of things, how we present, how you dress is how you're going to be addressed. That's the lack of that visionary leadership that I keep talking about. Is as a leader, how we present these things go a long way. The way we carefully choose our words, the way we let both parties speak as counsel, allowing that transparency. I always say, when people can see it, they can trust it. When people feel like things are being done in silos or in the dark, their immediate reaction is to be against it. But if we carry people along from the beginning and making sure that there is transparency across board and we are all on one accord, like I said, it doesn't mean that everybody on the council have to vote yes on something. It just means that it's clear to people why something will pass and why something will not pass. Something won't pass because of personal vendettas. That will not be there when I'm in office.
God,
People voting in cliques right now instead of having the people at like, what do the people want, right? Those are the kind of changes that I'm bringing in, that the way we're going to operate is going to be different. And this is something I've done times without number. I've been on projects where 2 departments don't even speak to one another. My first call on that project, they hung up the cord on Zoom. It was the first time I knew that you could do that on Zoom. I thought it was just phone that you can drop the phone. Boom, somebody ended the Zoom call on us. And I brought them together at the end of the day to complete that project. So having a leadership like that is what is currently missing, is what made it become a mud-slinging contest, right? Instead of us coming together to work as one. Thank you.
got it.
Thank
And
you for
I just want to say thank you for clarifying that as well. And whoever wins this election as mayor, I do agree that the communication when it comes to community development and regulatory affairs needs to be improved. The communication is very lackluster. People don't know what development is going on until the day of, and that's a problem. And I wish,
Yes.
anyone who takes that office definitely fixes it.
Thank you so much, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon, and thank you, Mr. Adeyemi. I'm going to unmute you. Sam, do you still have a question here? I'm going to unmute you.
Oh yeah, I do, Quasar. Thank you so much for leading the charge on the data center questions. I appreciate you on that one, my brother. And just to back up Brandon on that one, I also live pretty close to that development and I'm in support of the development actually because I live in Walden Park, and I think one of the things that anyone is running for mayor, our council needs to understand about the city of South Fulton, regardless of the district, many of us have been misled by developers. And I, for one, can speak about Walden Park. When my wife and I moved over here almost 23 years ago, we were told you're going to have a fire station, you're going to have a daycare center, you're going to have a local market, you're going to have so many different things. And they cleared the land, they had everything set up, and it was totally not done. The only thing that was done was a daycare center. Everything else is now overgrown lots. And there's over 800 homes over here. So we had enough homes to support that type of development, but I can't tell you how many times that's repeated throughout the communities. You pick any district, So a lot of residents are weary of being misled and lied to. And so we really want not only for our leaders to be accountable, but also for the developers to be accountable for whenever they present projects to us. Um, so a little sorry for that diatribe there for a second. I just wanted to clear that up because I know a lot of people are saying different things in chat. So just to again clear that up. My question is more along the lines of your vision for the future, sir. I think one of the things a lot of people are not really realizing is that this mayor and the next incoming council will have direct feedback on our city center. And another thing people don't realize, we're 18 or 8 years old, going on 9 years old. There were a couple of the cities started right before us, and they already have their city centers and city halls put in place, brand new and looking good. What is your vision? And also the second part of that question, how would you get this community engaged? Which again goes back to my opening statement about a lot of residents feeling betrayed and misled by leaders and developers. So they don't participate as much in voting as well as in coming to city hall meetings and, board meetings and stuff that the city has.
Thank you very much. Just to and Sam, thank you so much for your work, for being an active citizen. I can't tell you, you're not on the council, you're not an elected official. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten information from your post on Nextdoor that I have not seen elsewhere. I'll be like, this is just an active citizen educating people like this. Those are the kind of gaps that I'm coming in to bridge, whereby, like I said, when people can see it, they can trust it. But if you're not showing it and you just bring this surprise, human reaction is supposed to say, back off. If somebody just jump in front of you, you back off immediately. Is a natural instinct. So that I want to make sure I bridge that gap, making sure that we have a streamlined way of communicating. It's trickling down from the top to the last person in the community. If it takes me going to all these HOA meetings, if it takes me going to having town halls in every district and every now and then to be able to join the council member for that district and support them in that area to make sure that we educate the people of that district. I'm committing to doing all that, whatever it would take to get people's trust. Because number one thing people have told me since I've been knocking on doors since May is to restore trust. So to restore that trust, and we all know it's not given, it's earned. I have to earn the trust of the people. That's why my communication has to be top notch. I'm not saying I won't make mistakes. I'm not saying we're not going to fail at some things, but we're going to fail together. We're going to rise together because people now have a buy-in that, oh, I'm part of this now. We're involving people in everyday decision. I'm inaugurating a council, advisory council, my first day in office, which will also include people from all the districts. Knowing that I'm not taking one decision without the backup of these people. Knowing that anything I do, if we end up making mistake, we course correct and we get back on track. So getting the trust of people is high on my list, making sure that when I wake up in the morning, I know that, oh, my people are with me at least. So these developers coming in, telling us A and giving us B, telling us Friday, giving us Saturday, we have to be able to address that together. If there are things that we put on the list that they're going to do, that they're not doing it, we have to be able to hold them accountable to those promises. All right. Thank you so much, Sam.
Did you have a second part of that question, Sam? Or that's
just a vision that he may have for our city center, because I know that's on the books, his plan.
Thank you so much. So it was a long-winded question. I definitely skipped that. Oh, my vision for city center. I've been exploring though. I've been exploring. One thing I mentioned earlier is there are 7 districts here, right, under the city. My number one goal is to make sure we are one city, not 7 cities. One thing I've noticed is development becomes competition. Oh, it's going to be in my district. Oh, it's going to be in this other district. I want to make sure that we're united in what we're bringing in and satisfying the people in that area. I can't say because I live in District 4, I would like for city center to be in District 4. I cannot say that because the people here Anybody in District 4 here can correct me if I'm wrong. They like this laid back lifestyle here, right? They want it to remain this way, right? So we need to work with districts that are open to such development, because it's gonna be quick, it's gonna be fast, the density is gonna be a lot when we eventually agree on where it's gonna be. I know there is already, yeah, Miss Naima said yes. District 4 people in the chat saying yes. So they want it that way. So we have to be able to actually connect with the people and see where we're gonna have our city center. I don't think it should take us too much as for location. Functionality for me is better than of what use is a location that the people in there are not working as they should. My goal is to change mindset for leadership in this city, number one, so that anywhere we have our city center, anywhere that we have our city would not matter to people as long as we are delivering what they put us there to do. That's my own priority. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that, Sam. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, Ms. Candia Perry.
Hi, good evening. So, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so my question is, with everyone wanting to really replace as many current leaders as possible, there's been also talk about the city manager's pay and whether, the job she's doing. Someone even said once before that her contract is expiring. I haven't been able to verify that, but if that is correct, I know city council can remove her, but what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel the city manager is doing? And if her contract is about to expire, is that someone that you would want to have a hand in keeping her? And if not, would you recommend, do you have someone else that you feel we should bring to the city for that position?
Thank you so much, Ms. Condia. So I've heard a lot while knocking on doors about this particular topic. And I will be honest, they have not been favorable towards the current city manager. But after swearing in, I believe our tenure expires 3 months or so after we come in. So we have opportunities to reevaluate at that point. From coming in as a professional and with the type of work that I do, I'm all about metrics. You have to be able to show me metrics. Anybody can tell you anything in this life. People can sweet talk you. They have to be able to show you though. So I want to see where we start from, or at least from the course of our tenure, what we have been able to grow, what we have been able to achieve in terms of even communications, running the departments, our failures, what could have been done differently. It is at that point that we, myself and the people can see, because the metrics that will make it public. This is where we are. I want to know what I'm walking into. So I can't sit here and tell you, I have a name in mind. Oh, Miss Perry would be a good candidate, right? I have to be able to, first of all, know what I'm walking into. What is our current situation in terms of our finances, in terms of how we've been running this department? Because, hey, a Georgia State student sometimes can do more than some of these, the things that I've seen happening here. You'd be like, we can run this. AI can run some of these things that we're seeing that people are failing to do their job. So I want to be able to understand before I make that decision, is what I'm saying.
Thank you for that. Is that the only question you have? You good? If that's it, I'm going to go ahead and
that
go
was
over.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Mrs. Jane. You're unmuted.
Miss Jane. Okay, hey y'all, how's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing, Miss Jane?
Hey, I'm doing great, thank you, and thank you for coming on tonight, and thank you, Quasar. So I got a couple of comments here. Now, thank you for believing in that our public comments are important, and that you would not restrict us from our public comments, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay. And so what about the long, now I asked this question last night, but I didn't really get my answer. The long combative council meetings. Now, Ms. Naima, I didn't know if she really asked this, but so the meetings are long, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Very argumentative and combative. So how would you control the long meetings? Like, what are some things that you would do? Because for the most part, for the last two meetings, I haven't even been able to get my comment in because either they moved the public comment or some of the other items on the agenda was just so long that I left. So how would you correct that?
Right. As the
Mm.
chief
Mhm.
facilitator of all these meetings, it is on me to run it. Failure in the agenda of any meeting
Mhm.
is
Mm.
directly attached to the facilitator. For example, you see how Quasar is navigating the comment section, bringing who's next up and making sure everything runs smoothly. It's a skill. This is a skill
Yeah.
that I've developed over the years that I've used to run multiple projects. I've run projects where there are 200 people on the call. I've run projects whereby there are 15 departments that have to talk to each other. I'm skilled at this. So we have a time for each comment. We have to say, of what use are rules if we can't enforce them?
That's
So
right.
without a personal agenda for the meeting, why can't we just follow the rules?
I agree with you.
It's
That's
it's
a good
when it's when it's when we now start having our own agenda from the people's agenda that these things happen. Why, for example, you may ask, would we move public comment? Why? What are we discussing that is so important that the people who elected us don't have to contribute? I cannot find answer to that. There is nothing in my if you give me $1 million right now, I can't think of an answer that
Right.
hey, this could be the reason why I will move public comment. Because again, with the city hierarchy, the citizens first, the council and the mayor after. I, as the mayor, I'm just helping facilitate these conversations, right? So it is on me to make sure that it's a quality conversation. People can sit down for 2 hours call if it's impactful, if they are gaining from it. People have been on this course for how long now? Because they are benefiting from it, their information, they're sitting there, they're listening to us, right? So the failure of any of these meetings is directly tied to the person running it, which is the mayor. You are the chief in this meeting. You're the one running it. So we have to make sure that we are in control of this meeting. Public comment or anybody has a motion, we
No.
follow it. There's a timer already. So the time is done. We move to the next thing. If we see that we're now making progress in a topic, maybe we'll move it down now to executive session when we have closed our meeting. And then that's when we can talk to one another. That what's going on here? I'll have to be able to bring them together. Guys, what's going on here? We have to keep the people in mind. They took time from their daily schedule to come here and listen to us. We have to be respectful of their time.
That's right.
Your last part.
Do you think that do you think the agenda can be too long with all, like everything that they have on there sometimes? Do you think that could
It's
be?
something. Yeah, I'm willing to definitely review the agenda and see the things that we don't necessarily have to bring up, right? We
Yes.
can, because we have what? Not everything is pressing. Again, it takes a visionary leader to make sure that things are in priority. As a project manager, number one key for project management is prioritization. If you want to build your house, why are you worrying about roofing when you haven't even purchased the land? So sometimes in our meetings, we're discussing the foundation, we're discussing the roofing, we're discussing the decking, when we can start with just the foundation and then postpone the others. The roofing can come later. that can streamline our agenda too.
That's
Where
what I'm
we
talking about.
focus on priorities. Right
Mhm.
now, there's no priority. If you ask for the vision right now or the plan, they will tell you we have a 5-year plan, we have a 10-year plan, we have a 15-year comprehensive plan. What are you going to deliver next quarter? Nobody can answer you.
Nobody can answer that. Okay, well, thank you for that. And I also want to thank you, or I don't know who it was, it might have been, no, it might have been you, about the importance of our green space. And just because the state agrees to these data centers, don't mean we have to let them come here. Or we should be more informed and ask more of what we can receive from these data centers, not just, I don't know, I'm not saying nobody taking any money in their pockets, but you know, in Beaufort, Georgia, and I know I keep bringing this up, but Beaufort, Georgia just had a state-of-the-art stadium built out there. You know where they got it from? Them data centers out there, okay? So I'm just saying, so thank y'all so much for that. And that ends my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jane.
All right.
Thanks so much, Ms. Jane. I'm going to go over to Mrs. Harvey on here, and we're going into the last 15 minutes. So if everyone can, everyone's done it already, but if you can keep your questions to 2 parts. Ms. Harvey, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. And my apologies for earlier.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Pam.
Okay. Mr. Adeyemi, and
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
asking all the candidates this. Are you willing to divulge your financials as a candidate for the mayor of City of South Fulton?
Yes, ma'am. Not only willing, but committed to it. Even our forms right now, I stated how much, what property I own, what their addresses are right now on the form that we declared. I'm willing to do that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
You have another one, Ms. Harvey, or you okay with that?
No, that's it.
Straight up forward answer, huh?
That will actually help. Ms. Pam, I actually like that. We need to make sure that we're electing people who are actually gainfully employed, for example, and not taking a part-time job and put all their expenditure on part-time job. That's where corruption comes in. So I definitely agree with Ms. Pam.
I'm so glad you understand that. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Me too. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Mrs. Patricia. Are you ready? I'm going to unmute you.
Hey, good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good evening. Hey, just a few questions. I took the time to review the city charter regarding the duties and responsibilities of the mayor 3.22.
Yes.
And there is a section in there where it does say that the mayor can collaborate with the city manager regarding issues related to operations and administration. With that being said, my first quick question is the issue regarding the city chief. I don't know if it was mentioned earlier. If not, just skip it. In regards to the fact that he is still on administrative paid leave and still getting paid. What are your thoughts about that? The second one is the mayor brought on the sergeant of arms the other night. I want to know what your thoughts are about having a city official, a council member being potentially removed by the sergeant of the arms, and then the city council member asking the sergeant of arms to remove the mayor, and the sergeant of arms refusing to it. I'm prior military, so that was a stickler for me in terms of the just what happened that night. And I forgot my other questions, so those would be my two.
Okay, let me try to rephrase. So your first question is regarding I forgot now to
the relationship.
Sorry.
The relationship that the city, the mayor has with the that they can
city
collaborate.
Manager.
Right, city manager.
Yes. Yes, I don't know if you've joined this call when I said that mayor will not get nothing done because we have a strong council, weak mayor form of government without collaboration. If you don't have that skill now, you're on council, you're a mayor, what makes you think you're gonna have it after the election night? It's something you lack already. So collaboration is key. And now, as mayor, you have the power to appoint the city manager, right? If you appoint the city manager, this is your
Yeah,
appointee.
I understand. Yeah, yeah. I don't want
And
you.
they
I don't
run
want
the
you to waste any.
operation.
Yeah, yeah. No,
No,
I
no, no.
understand.
And they
I
run the
understand what you're
operation.
saying.
You should be able to work with them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? You
Okay.
should be able to work with your appointee to run operation of things. As they are running the operation of things, if you read that 3.22 downward, they give reports. The city manager is reporting back to council and saying, oh, these are the things that are happening. So you as council or mayor can even call for investigation. Right? And this unending investigation just needs to stop. There needs to be a time. Why is it taking us this long to investigate? Right? And if you investigating and put somebody on paid leave, I'm not doing anything, I'm getting $18,000 every month. I don't even want the investigation to end because I can be in Puerto Rico or Bahamas enjoying myself. Right? So there needs to be a guardrail, which is definitely lacking right now. If it has to come in form of ordinance, we have to put a guardrail down. So to your question, yes, I definitely agree that the mayor has to collaborate with the city manager to make sure, even though the city manager is in charge of running the day-to-day of the city, you have to work with them side by side. And
Yes.
to your other question about remover, I believe you mentioned paramilitary. There's chain of command, right?
Quick, go.
Is what you, I don't know. Sorry, somebody's saying something. Is someone saying something?
Did you have
Okay.
That was Pamela. I muted.
Okay. Okay. Right. So with me, we wouldn't even get to the point where we are calling for removal of one another because again, we have executive session. There are things that should be kept in house. If we have differences, let's iron it over there. Let's not waste people's time. People got up and started leaving. I was actually on my way when somebody called me not to bother. Guess I was coming from a campaign event. I was heading straight there. So I was like, oh, no, don't worry. This is a waste. If they are calling our meeting a waste, why are we even having it? Why are we wasting people's time? So we need to start by making sure we present ourselves in a positive light. Removal or not, Sergeant of Arms making its own decision. Definitely do not support that. The Sergeant of Arms now became that powerful that they can say yes or no to when they take action. Right. And we get to a point where in our meetings we are having the lawyer to putting the lawyer on the spot every 5 minutes. Oh, what do we have to do here? What do we? It's a that's not. I do apologize on behalf of them, even though they won't. And if you don't apologize, it means you're not remorseful and you will do it again. And that's why people want change. So I apologize on their behalf for even taking people through that rigmarole of rubbish. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Miss Patricia. And we're heading over. We're getting a little bit close to 8:30. Mr. Adeyemi, I'm sorry. If you would, it's up to you if you like to stay. If we had a couple more questions after 8:30, that's going to be totally up to you. But meanwhile, what I want to do is go ahead. We have 3 other questions here. One is by Mrs. Miller Mapp. I'm going to give you all about 60 seconds each on those questions until we can get Mr. Adeyemi to be able to close us out. And actually give him a chance to say if he's able to stay or not a little bit longer. And that's up to the group here if we have any more questions too. But I'm going to go ahead and go over to Mrs. Miller Mapp. You have the floor.
Okay, there we go. Thank you for allowing me to get in a quick question. And my question is brief, and your answer can be brief because it's a bit of a complicated situation, and it's sanitation. Will you be willing, Mr. Adeyemi, to evaluate our sanitation service and the contracts associated with it? It's about 2 years old now, and it's creating issues both from a tax standpoint and a service standpoint, particularly at Merck Miles. We really need to take a second look at the debacle that has come from that decision. It was not well planned. It was rushed, and citizens are paying for it through the tax commissioner's office. It was sold to us as a utility, and we were told it would not be taxable, and it is. So we really need to clean up that program and clean up how we are paying for it. Your
Yes, ma'am.
thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. I definitely agree with you on that. Not only because I'm also affected by this, but more so there are seniors in my community, for example, that they have a special place in my heart, right? Um, I'll give you a
Yes.
good example. A good scenario would be if you traveled to care for your grandchildren somewhere, right? And you were not home when they brought the bill. They give a stipulated date that if you don't pay, they put a lien on your house. Meaning
Exactly.
that your house can go to foreclosure and you're out there helping your grandkids, right? You can go to that I do not agree with and would definitely be willing to review that contract.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that question, Ms. Miller Mapp. And thanks, Joseph, for that. I'm going to go over to Mr. Sam. You have the floor.
Sure. All right. My question's real quick. As you know, there is campaigning for the job and there's governing and actually learning about some of the things that's not widely known. What are you doing right now to prepare for the not widely known parts of doing this job?
Robert's Rules of Order. It's become my Bible now. So, because I've seen meetings where it seems there's lack of decorum here, and they are clearly defined in the Robert's Rule of Order on how these meetings should be run and how a point of order and the rest should come and should be addressed. So it's one thing that I've read. I've done the first read. I'm going back to specifically do it. Also, leveraging knowledge of people, long-term residents, for example. Also, people who have been in government. I can't tell you how many times I've disturbed even. I'm glad Miss Naima is on the call now, right? I can't tell you how many times I've disturbed her with some of these things. It's a special skill that I have to soak knowledge from people who have it. My goal is to stand on the shoulders of those who have gone before me, who have made a name for themselves, who have made impact, and then get those that knowledge from them and then apply it to. So me, it's a lot of reading, but also conversations with people like yourself too. I would definitely engage with you. There are things that you know here from the post I've seen on Nextdoor, of course, that will be impactful to me. So I'm definitely doing that right now, having those conversations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thanks for that. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Mr. Keaton. You have the floor, Mr. Keaton.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening. Okay. I have a question. So I have a very strong desire, and I have been collaborating with other candidates that are running for the city council seats. And I really have a strong desire to get rid of P cards and make everybody go to a system that is in line with what the state representatives use, where you are on a reimbursement policy that you don't have a P card. Let's just say that there was a situation, because I kind of feel like a lot of the older council people probably don't want to get rid of their P cards because that's how that's how they've been conducting their business. And let's just say you are the deciding factor. The new council wants to get rid of the P cards and go to a reimbursement policy where nobody has access to a P card, and you are the deciding factor. Which way would you lean?
I will go for a removal of the P card. Of what benefits is that to the people? My number one loyalty is to the people. They keep P cards, they don't keep P cards. What What benefit is it if they have the pick out for the people? My goal is this. If there is something that you got going on that you have to do, and you are able to do it, and it's justified, we'll reimburse you. That limits excess. All these things that we've been seeing, at least from statement of account that is in public, there are things that we're seeing on there that they shouldn't be on there at all. I'm seeing edible arrangements. If you can buy that with your money and it's justified, that's only when you can get reimbursed. I promise you, if that has been in place, you will not see this much spending. I promise you that. Nobody will be able to be flying $3,000 and all of that. You would not see it if you have to spend your money and they get reimbursed. So if I'm the deciding factor, I'm telling you all right now, I will go with the majority on this. Thank you, Mayor.
And thank you for that question. I'm sorry about that. Did you have another one there? Is that it there?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to allow Mr. Adeyemi to go ahead and close this out. You have up to a good 5 minutes to get us closed out here. Right after that, I'll make a little statement for 2 minutes to actually get us closed out. After that, as well, to kind of wrap up what we've talked about on one of the most important topics here tonight, and that's data center. So, Mr. Adeyemi, you have the floor again.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. I want to thank you for taking this again on that short notice to be able to quickly step up and facilitate the conversation here. I also want to thank every one of you on this call for joining tonight. Some of you, it's past your bedtime. You probably go to bed early. You stayed up to be part of this. A lot of you have other things to do. You're doing candidates, having campaign events, and all. I want to appreciate you all for joining. And also for your overwhelming support that I've been receiving since I've been knocking on doors. I can't tell you how many people have given me cookies, snacks, water. When I knock on their doors, I want to appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Now, this is a crucial election. I don't want anyone to play on your intelligence. In this city, I've mentioned before, I will say it again. We have a strong council, weak mayor form of government. So for those who are in office now or who have been in office and couldn't make a difference, couldn't collaborate past the people sitting next to them, couldn't work with others to deliver for the people, they won't magically do it if they win this election. What they couldn't deliver as part of the strong council, they won't deliver as a weak mayor with no real power. So the skills to navigate City Hall are not skills that you can learn overnight because you've suddenly won an election. Collaboration, inspiration, and results-driven leadership, they are the exact skills that I deliver every day as a project manager. So in this election, we can't go back. We can't keep doing things the same way by the same people and expect a different result. You want change, rightfully so, because you love this city. You want things to change. So do me this favor. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell everyone that the change that you seek, that change you've been looking for, the common sense governance that you've been searching everywhere for in this city is now the #1 name on the ballot. And that's Joseph Adeyemi. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. I'm happy to have done this today, and I want to say thanks again to the South Fulton Coalition for inviting me, and also thank you again, Joseph, for being here tonight. Everybody that's on the call, I appreciate you all for being here tonight as well. And as we wrap up, I'd like to make a statement about data centers. I challenge everyone on this call tonight to do some research on those data centers, because this is just not something that keeps coming up in an election. It is something that is pivotal thing for our generation, and everybody that's on this call hasn't lived long enough to understand what these data centers are bringing and what they're doing to our finances, to our power system, and to our grids and all that good stuff. So if you want to know more about that, I do have a website. It's NQIN-QUE, and I'll put that in the chat as well. But I want you guys to use any source that you possibly can. And like Sam was saying, let's find out, let's have the right information. And nobody is doing this in a nefarious way. Everybody, even when I was running for city council, you know, I'm like, hey, this is why did they do this? Why did they do this? Today, I submitted an ORR request for the city and also for the county to understand who understood what when, because what we need to know, the state, like everybody is saying, is the people that's giving up to $20 million on, you know, sales tax incentives all the way up to 2023. But then let's talk about the county. The county is also, they have county, I mean, they have these development authorities. The development authority of Fulton County is the one that's dealing with all these data centers. And what the development authority does, they talk to the data centers and say, hey, you know how you can save 40 to 90% on sales? I mean, I'm sorry, on property taxes for the city that you're going into? Hey, let me show you how to save that. And while you're here, the way that we're going to stay alive as a development authority, we're going to take a little bit of that money that we're saving you from the city of South Fulton. That's what the county does. So we have to understand, yeah, let's keep one finger pointed at city council, but let's understand that the state and the county are milking our city left and right. And we have to understand, if they're doing it, it's already going on. No, we don't want these data centers next to our homes. Okay. No, we don't want them next to our schools. But we have to do like someone else said on the call earlier today, and I think it was Miss Jane or something like that. We have to milk them. I mean, if they're here milking us, there's up to like, I think $75 million in my report that we've already missed in our city. So we need to keep them accountable.
Okay, but what about our health? What about our health? You keep talking about these
Absolutely.
data centers. What about our health?
Absolutely. That's the thing. So someone said earlier, like you said earlier, Joseph, we need to make sure that we put these places, and I think Mark Baker said that they need to go into an area. You said earlier on the call that we can't just tell these people, we can't just keep getting sued. So we have to have a place for them
Health is
to go.
more okay. If we get sick,
Mm-hmm. And Ms. Clark, I'm talking about what's here already. Okay. So we already have 7 planned. Before we even talk
what
about
good
and Ms.
is
Clark,
money?
go ahead. Go ahead and talk, Ms. Clark.
What good is money going to do any of us if we're sick? Sick. Okay, it affects our health. You keep talking about money. That's not the real issue here. Our land is messed up. Our environment is messed up. Speak on that. Speak
Absolutely.
on it.
You're totally right, Mrs. Clark. And I expect that we all knew that part already, but I will speak on that. It is
Okay, so you
horrible.
don't care anything about our health? Okay, so nobody cares about their
It's,
health?
no, it's horrible for our environment, Ms. Clark. I'm on your side with that. I'm 100% on your side. What I'm saying is these deals have been made already. Before, I'm talking about the 7 data centers that we already have deals going on right now with the county. So they're already there. I don't want data centers anywhere. I mean, I don't want them anywhere near us. But what I'm talking about is we have this problem already. And we as a city, we, even us keeping our city council accountable, we have to. We don't want
This
them here. Just tell
council
them
is
we don't
not
want them here.
accountable. This council
Yeah,
is not accountable, and they don't care about the residents. Anytime you won't let a person speak and you've been elected to look out for their best interest, are you serious right now?
you're
I
talking
mean,
to somebody.
I mean, at some point we have to stop and look at the real situation. It's not about money all the time. And this is not about money, these data centers. It is about the people who are going to profit from it. Yeah, they don't care what they come over here and dump in our area. They don't care about that. History has shown that.
You're right. And we have to make ordinances to make sure that they don't. And I understand what you're saying, it's not about the money, but we make these ordinances to where we actually are taxing the money. They're not going to want to come here. So we have to talk to them in that kind of way. We have to go in like Sandy Springs and the rest of them did and said, hey, if you're coming here, you go over there. If you're not
Okay,
going
do
to,
you
if we
care
don't have,
about your kids? Okay, do you care about your kids? Do you care about your family's health and quality of life? Is money going to take that when everybody's going to be running to the doctor, wake up one morning glowing and don't know what's going on?
it's not. So we have to do something about the ones that are here already. And what I'm saying is the city, it's like you and I right here. We're upset about the data centers, right? So
Yeah, I'm very upset about the data center because, first of all, Councilman Willis stood up and said everybody else was misinformed. No, she was the one that was not informed enough. I'm just sick of it all myself. That's why I don't even go to the meetings anymore. I'm not wasting my time and my gas to be sit up and be disrespected.
I understand.
And I wish
you, Ms. Clark.
everybody else would wake up as well, because these people need to go.
I understand you, and that's what this forum is about, and that's why we're here from the community for even your anger. I mean, I'm totally. I would never cut you off, because I feel.
Anger is an understatement.
Well, I'm
It's an
definitely angry.
understatement.
but I have to take that anger, what I'm doing, and everybody does it in a different way. I'm absolutely against data centers. What I'm talking about, when we already have a problem and we know it's a problem with health, we know it's a problem with our power grid. We have to handle what we have right now, and we go in there and we stop everybody from coming. But if we keep saying no, we're going to keep spending millions of dollars in lawsuits. But there's a way to do it. And that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to get everyone else that wants to help me work.
Okay, but how many lawsuits do they have now? They got a running list of lawsuits now.
Oh,
okay, if you don't get sued for something that really means something.
And it hasn't been meaning
They
anything,
don't
right?
care. They don't care anything about suits. It's not their money. They don't care about that. That's obvious. What you
And
need
I
to do
have
is check out. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Ms. Clark. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like these people don't care. They don't care about how many suits. I mean, I've lost count of what people say the suits are. So if you're gonna fight for something that's meaningful. We got kids. I got grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do I want my grandkids and my daughter and my family all around this toxic mess? And they around here grinning, talking about re-elect me. And then one wants to actually go into a mayor's seat. For what? You've shown us what you can do. It's ridiculous.
I definitely understand, Ms. Clark. You know what I did? I tried to run for city council and mayor, and I thought, I started doing research, and I said, you know what? Like, you're right. I was pissed off at them too. I still am, because some of them, like I said earlier, lacked the knowledge that they needed to get in order to challenge this, needed to care enough about it, right? So like what I'm doing here is by running for city council and doing what I did, I realized some stuff by doing the research that I've done. And I realized that we have to channel all three, the city, the county, and the state, in order to push them off of us. And we have to understand what they're doing right now with the places that's already here that we can't stop because they've already passed the contract stuff. They've already got their bonds and all that stuff already. So my thing is to work with what's already here and to stop by ordinances. I've sent these things to all of the city council members with ordinances to stop these people from being able to come here, by our schools, by our homes, by our restaurants. So I am 100% on your side. And if there's anybody else that wanted to add something to this conversation, I'll leave it open for you because this is just as important. Did you want to have anything else to say there, Mrs. Clark?
No, I just want people to educate themselves and be aware that there are some serious issues that could affect us with these data centers.
Absolutely.
That's what I want everyone else to do.
Please, everybody, listen to Mrs. Clark because, like I said, we all have our different ways of expressing this. My way is I'm looking for the money because I'm going to stop it and put a plug on it. And if they have money sitting there that's already there, I'm not letting it leave this city. And so that's kind of where I'm sitting on this data center thing. And it was so important for me that I did leave the city council race to run for Senate District 35. And I'm kind of tied up in some stuff with that right now. But these are my ideas on trying to get to this problem in a way that I feel like I can help. So I appreciate everybody tonight. I appreciate you, Mrs. Clark. Definitely appreciate what you just said was definitely needed. The energy that you just gave was definitely needed. So I really appreciate that. And everyone else on this call, thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go for tonight. And once again, thanks for your time tonight.